everybody. Welcome back to another Kickstart Your Learning. We are here with Discovery Education, well, Region 11 representative, but we're going to talk about Discovery Education and show you how it's so much more than videos. So we are super excited. Today we have Maria Collins, who is a digital resource consultant from Region 11. And then we also have Christy Harold. She is a facilitator of EdTech at Keller ISD. And then I am Misty Shea. I'm also a facilitator of EdTech. And then we also have Aaron Reister, who's our boss. He's the director of educational technology. Oh, since we're all welcome each other, please feel free to welcome or to put your name and your campus in the chat and let us know where you're watching. Well, not where you're watching from, but where you are.
All right, Keller teachers, I'm going to take you through just a few minutes of housekeeping for our Kickstart Your Learnings. We are, again, so glad that you're joining us today. You're going to love Maria Collins and the topic that we have today. It's going to really be an asset to your classroom, so thanks for being here. If this is your very first time in a Kickstart Your Learning on YouTube Live, you might not have a chat window in the top right of your screen like what you see in this picture. If you don't have that chat window, on the next slide, we're going to take you through a few steps to get it. And the reason we want you to get it is we want you to engage in the learning today. We're going to ask you several questions and expect that you'll respond in the chat. And I love how I see that you guys are already introducing yourself over there. So it sounds like we've got a lot of second, third timers, and thank you guys for doing that. So Misty, on the next slide. It's 3 quick and easy steps to get your chat to show up in your YouTube window. You're going to start with your avatar or your profile picture in the top right, and yours might be grayed out or blank, but the circle is still there. If you click on that circle and then choose Create a Channel in the menu that comes down, once you click Create a Channel, you're going to get a window with a couple of choices. If you'll make the choice that says Use Your Name, and then click the select button, and then scroll to the bottom of that and click Save and Continue on the next window. That should pop up the chat in your YouTube. So again, if it doesn't pop in right away, you might want to refresh with your little refresh arrow at the top left, or you might want to go ahead and retype the address that we're at today, which is www.kellerisd.net/kickstart. So take a second, do those 3 steps to get the chat window so that you can communicate with us during the learning. And finally, because you're here today, and if you are here today for EQ, we want to give you the credit for being here for learning after school. We appreciate that. We do have a couple of requests. We ask that you watch the entire live event. We also ask that you go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat once you get that up and running. And then during the chat, we're going to ask a few random questions. Respond to them if you don't mind, or ask questions back to us if you have questions about the content. Missy and I are going to be maniacally trying to answer everything in the chat. So we're glad to answer the questions that you have. And if we can't answer them, we're going to pass them on to our expert speaker today, Maria Collins. At the end of our event today, we will give you a link to a Google form so that you can request the EQ credit that you might be here for. So just hang tight for that. Also, really quick, we store all of our past Kickstart Your Learnings on this YouTube Live channel at the same address that you came to today for this YouTube Live. You can find a playlist of all of our past Kickstarts. And in addition, we take our past Kickstarts and put them in Canvas courses. And that way we can verify EQ if you do this not live. So if you need that, just send us an email at edtech@kellerisd.net. We're glad to pass that link to the Canvas course along.
I am just all sorts
I'm
of
going to
crazy
go ahead
with my
and share
mouse
my
today.
screen if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Let me see. I'm going to share this one. Okay. And I wasn't quite ready. I don't know why, but let me rush through these real quick and I'll get to mine. All right. Well, I'm Maria Collins and I'm a digital resources consultant and I work for Region 11. I spent 15 amazing years in Keller ISD, and I still have some special family members that are there. And actually, Misty, if you can tell me, my daughter asked me if she could join, and I said no. So I want to know if she's not minding her mom. But anyways, I am so excited to be here with you today. Please make sure that you, write down my email. And if you have any questions at all, I know that Misty and Christy or Erin are always happy to answer, but if not, reach out to me. I love hearing from people out in the field. So the other thing is, I know you guys are really active on Twitter, so feel free to follow me. I tweet out a lot of Discovery Ed exciting information and a lot of Region 11 sessions. So, and I underlined the HR. I did not misspell teacher. I ran out of characters. So Cuban teacher in Texas is my Twitter bio, but it's also my biography in a Twitter handle is what I call it. So sorry about that. Okay, so before I get started, I wanted to leave you with some resources. Really, this 30 minutes, which is about what I'm going to have, is really not enough time to teach you how to use Discovery Education. So I'm leaving you with a lot of resources that you can use. So if you would go to bit.ly/KIC, DE as in Discovery Education, and it is case sensitive. And I think that Christy said that she would share it. Christy or Misty would share the direct link. Thank you so much.
We are doing that now.
We can always stick around later and, if you have any questions, I don't mind, but I know that we want to finish on time. And then also, Christy and Misty, I think you said if there are questions, feel free to interrupt me, please, and ask me the questions, because I know I have a lot to share and I'm going to chat quickly. And as far as I can tell, there is no way for me to see the chat, correct? Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to start by saying it is not your mom's United Streaming, and that's Discovery Education. It is now actually, we're moving to Discovery Education Experience. So one more new name. When we first started using it in Keller, I was actually there, and I want to say it was like 17 years ago, and it was really a video repository. So for many years, in all honesty, that's pretty much all I used because that's how it started. But there's a lot more than that, and I'll tell you about it in just a few minutes. But currently, you all have 169,000 resources, and that's a lot of resources. So one of the things that I like to do in my sessions is teach you how to filter, because there are so many great ways of filtering so that you can find exactly what you're looking for. So videos, interactive studios, oh my. If you are only using it for videos, if you'll look closely at this graphic, there are more than 200,000 resources, and there are about 107,000 videos. So if that's all you're using it for, you're really missing out on about 50% of the content that Discovery Education has. So I just want to go through these real quick, but there are interactives, and within each one of these, so there are, they say 500, and actually I looked today and there are over 600 interactives now. And this was only last spring, so they keep adding every month. But within each one of these, there are like a lot of more specific resources. So I'm hoping that I'll have a little bit of time so I can show you how you can find that. But anyways, there are 25,000 images. Some of them are graphic, some of them are clip art, some of them are, oh, I'm so sorry. I tried to stop my emails from coming in and they're still coming in. Can you guys see them as they come in? No? Oh, good. Okay. So anyways, there are 25,000 images. Some are clip art, some are primary source images, which are great for history teachers. A lot of them are graphics. So a lot of different ways that you can use them. And your students, by the way, if I haven't mentioned that yet, which I probably haven't, not only do teachers have access to Discovery Education, but students have access to Discovery Education. So So there are over 9,000 audio resources, and that includes a podcast. There are audiobooks. There are a lot of songs. So if you're teaching something on nouns, for example, you can see if there's a song on nouns that you can teach. And of course, that would probably be for primary grades, but there are a lot of instructional resources, over 8,000, and I will show you some of those. 34,000 text resources. There's an entire encyclopedia within Discovery Education. So just about any topic that you might be looking for or your students might be looking for, they can find here. One of the things that I like is if you filter for reading passages, there are some accommodations that you can teach your students to use. For example, if they have difficulty reading, they can have it read to them, they can highlight it. So there are a lot of really great accessibility features within the reading passage within text resources. And then we also have channels. And channels are topics that are, well, I guess collections that are curated by topic. So a topic could be as broad as science. And so within that, you would have a lot of resources. But then it could be as specific as cells. So, you know, all of the content in that topic would relate to, or I'm sorry, in that channel would relate to cells. So channels are a great place to start if you are just getting started with Discovery Ed, or maybe you haven't used it in a while and you want to reacquaint yourself with what's in there. Start with one topic, pull up a channel, and then see all the resources that you have access to. All right, so I wanted to share that if you haven't used my content, it is a great way to save time. And this has actually been around quite a while because I've been out of the classroom 9 years, and I actually started organizing my things in folders. But just like you can create folders in your Google Drive, you can create folders within Discovery Ed so that year after year, you're not starting from scratch. You can actually save the resources that you have. And so then, you might just look for new resources. And one of the things that I recommend is if you have a naming convention that you use for your Google Drive folders, so, it might be, I don't know, Unit 1, Europe. You might want to use the same naming convention here. That way you can easily access it as you come back year after year. But I have everything that I'm talking about. I've tried to provide some kind of tutorial from Discovery Education in the resources that I'm sharing. And I'm hoping to end with that, or maybe at some point I'll show you some of the resources that are in there. All right, so I think what I'm going to do right now is just take a quick break and go into Discovery Education just to show you some of the things that I talked about. And again, it's going to be very broad. If you attend one of the sessions that we'll be planning this summer, we'll have a lot more of an interactive feel. Because it's only 30 minutes, it's just going to be a sit and get to some extent. But anyways, by the way, any idea, I thought I'd throw this out here, any idea about how many resources are added in Discovery Education Experience each month? Throw it out there. Go ahead and put it in the chat. And then Christy and Misty, if you can let me know. And I'll give you about 10 seconds. Okay. So I know you're coming in, you're thinking, don't overthink it. This is easy, no test, just for funsies.
So we've got 40, we've got 1,500, a couple of guesses trickling in.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to give you 3 more seconds. All right.
100.
They actually add, what's that?
100 a couple of times.
Well, they actually
200.
add about 500 a month, every single month. Now, I will say they do go through them, and they get rid of things that either aren't relevant or are no longer true, or things that aren't being used. So they look at all of that data. Now, sometimes you might find a video that's 20 years old and you're like, oh my gosh, all the people look so old. Why don't they get rid of this? Well, they don't get rid of it because teachers are still using it. So they do look at data. So if there's something that you absolutely love and you don't want them to get rid of it, just keep using it. So, all right. And then I have another little quiz question that I'll ask later. But so when you're searching, I always say the very first time, search for nothing. And when you do that, you're going to get everything. So I'm going to go ahead and I have a few more things in addition to Discovery Experience. So that's why I always change it. So currently with Discovery Education Experience, you would have 180,000. And by the way, right now you have what is called Discovery Education Base, but Discovery Ed has decided to sunset Base. And so everybody come the fall will have Discovery Education Experience. And that is actually very exciting because they have a lot of super cool features that I'm going to share with you. They also have a lot more content that Discovery Education is starting to create in-house, and it's really great quality content, like this demystified channel. But anyways, I wanted to share real quick just how you can filter. So you can filter by subject, you can filter by grade level, you can filter by specific like asset types. So let's say that I'm looking for an interactive. So I'm going to click on interactives. And then when you go to type, you can filter further. You can filter by topic. And of course, I didn't even put a keyword, which is what I would highly recommend. But this filter here on the left-hand side changes depending on what you've clicked here. So you can see that the types of things that are offered for interactives are going to be different than the types of videos. So make sure that you're using all of the different filtering tools, including a keyword. That's what I would highly recommend. But I do want to show you one other quick way, which this was actually my favorite way to search for things when I was in the classroom, because you can search by standards. And I'm not going to do it right now because it takes a while to go through the whole thing. But basically just, search when whatever your standards were released. That's how they have organized it, by when TEA released these TEKs. So find yours, and I'm going to click on that, and then just click on the student expectation, and any that are highlighted in blue means that there is related content. Now, it doesn't mean, I do always want to say this, it doesn't mean that that verb is covered. You will have to have students do something with the content, but at least the content supports what you're trying to teach. So that was my favorite way. And you will have to change up here, what you're looking for, the grade level. But once you've done that, it generally will always default to that. All right. So hopefully you will, practice filtering. I could spend just one entire hour on filtering, but use all of the filters that you have. That way you save a lot of time. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my presentation. I'm trying to watch the time. So something else that most teachers love within Discovery Education are these SOS Instructional Strategies. Discovery kept hearing like, you have great content, but we know that unless our students do something, engage with the content, interact with the content, there's going to be very little retention. So they brought together superstar teachers from around the country, and they said, give us your best instructional strategies. And so teachers shared over 100 strategies. And what's nice about it is they're all in one place. Now, you'll look at them and you'll go, well, I know that one. I know that one. And you may even know 50 out of the 100. I think they have like 102. But what's nice is that they're all in one place. If you forget about one strategy, you can go to the SOS, look through and find, you might go like, oh, I forgot that I used to use that. My kids loved it. And it really worked well. So make sure that you come back to it. But I want to show you how you access this. And I'm going to show you in a variety of ways. The first one is you can come to Educator Supports. And by the way, before I do that, I want to show you one thing. If you ever get lost, it is really easy to go down a rabbit trail with Discovery. And then you're like, oh my goodness, how do I get back to my homepage? The icon at the top left will always take you back to your homepage, which is this. They call it My DE page. And then you can also click on the waffle menu wherever you see it. That one isn't on all pages, but you almost always have this. The other thing that I want to point out is the help menu. If you just click on this and you search, let's say that you're trying to find help with using quiz later on in the fall. If you just type quiz, there are all kinds of helpful videos, step-by-step directions that you can get right here. All right, back to SOS Instructional Strategies. So I am going to click on Educator Supports. And then right here in the middle, it says Instructional Strategies. You can click on that. And then they have all the instructional strategies here. Now, they have organized them either by skill or by function. So skill meaning like, what skill are you building, in the students? Are you trying to help them learn? Function is, how are you as a teacher going to use this strategy? So I'll give you an example. Obviously, summarizing, finding key ideas and details, those are skills. But instructional hook is a function. So that's how you're going to use it to hook students as part of your lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm looking for a strategy that I can use as an instructional hook. So I'm going to click on this. And then here you have all of these strategies. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on a very easy one, AEIOU. And all of these strategies, all 102, are organized in the same exact way. So once you get used to one or two of them, then it's real easy to figure them out. So there's always a video of a teacher explaining to you how he or she uses that strategy in the classroom. This is actually one of the longest videos I've seen. Usually they're between like 1.5 minutes and 4 minutes, and most of them are in the 2-minute range. So the teacher explains to you how he or she uses it in the classroom really quickly. But then if you're like, oh, I don't want to watch a video, you can scroll down and you can click on teacher guide. Sometimes it says teacher guide, sometimes it says PDF. When you click on this, there will always be a PDF that has the big idea. You see the skills on the left-hand side, the materials, which by the way, the materials are generally pencil, paper, things like that. Nothing huge. And then you get the steps. In addition to that, you have extensions and modifications. And then I will tell you, I changed just about everything that I ever use. So I usually take their steps and then I kind of Maria-size it, make it my own. So I'm sure you will do that too. But then here's my favorite part. If there's a graphic organizer, they have created it for you. So while I would probably not waste a sheet of paper and a copy, but I might put this on the board and have students copy it either on their paper or their notebook, something like that. So again, these are really easy to use, quick strategies that can help students in a variety of ways, but it makes them, again, interact with the content, think, reflect, so that they're learning. And as I said, they are all set up the same. But at this moment, I want to go to the resources that I said that I was going to share with you. So this is a Wavelet, and if you're not familiar with Wavelet, it's just, Wavelet has many uses. I generally use it to curate resources that I share at any sessions that I present. But if you scroll down to, well, getting started, this is where I said I was going to share a lot of different tutorials. They're real quick and easy to use. But if you keep scrolling, SOS Instructional Strategies, there is a spreadsheet, and I cannot take credit for this. Discovery Education actually puts it together. But what they have done is they have put all 102 of the instructional strategies on one spreadsheet. And they give you a very brief description. Pardon my dog. They give you a very, quick, short description. And then, of course, they want you to use it with their resources. So they tell you which resources, this strategy might be beneficial to use with. What I say is, if you can use it with your textbook, use this strategy. You'll see a lot of them you have probably used before. Not a lot of them, some of them. Because when there are 102, it's difficult. But any of these, let's say Four Corners, if you click on, it is hyperlinked. And so it takes you straight to what I just showed you for that other one. And again, you see the video. The video is like 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And as you scroll down, PDF version. And again, I said, sometimes they call it like teacher materials, PDF version, but that's probably one of the few things that's different. Everything else is always the same. There you have that. So really easy to use. And again, I think it makes the resources that they share become very student-centered. If all you're doing is having the students consume, there's not going to be a lot of retention. So use these instructional strategies, not only for discovery, but for everything. I think it helps. All right. So these are some of the new exciting things that you don't have yet, but I talked to Christy and Misty and Aaron, and they said, we'll share away because you will have them in the fall. And as a matter of fact, our hope is that you'll have them in the summer so that you can practice. But they actually have something called Studio, and Studio acts as a presentation tool, but it's also a tool that students can use to interact with. And my favorite thing is that they have created templates with a lot of those SOS strategies. So I'm going to actually show you how to do one. I'm going to go back to my home page, and where you're going to access those is in Studio. So I'm going to click on Studio, and then I'm going to create new. And it's these activity templates. And I will, I'll make sure that there's something in the resources that teaches you how to access these, but if not, I'll create a quick screencast to show you. So I'm going to click on activity templates. And then since I just showed you AEIOU, I'm going to go ahead and use that one. So I will click on it, and I'm going to say, build this activity. So what they do is they've shown you, they have teacher notes and that tell you exactly how you're going to use this. Once you get used to it, though, in all honesty, you won't even need the teacher notes. So you'll exit out, you will give it a title, and I'm just going to call it test for lack of, and then all you have to do is find content, and it is ready to go for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you how easy it is to find content. I'm actually going to go to my content, which is where I showed you the things that I had. And let me see, I'll click on animal cells, and it is ready to go. Now, should I want to edit it? I could edit this, but it's ready to go. If you assign it, and again, it'll take us a few minutes and we don't have the time, but if you assign it, when students log into Discovery Education, it'll show at the top that they have an assignment. So it's really easy to use. The other thing is, because we already have some districts around the region that have Discovery Education experience. And what I had one teacher say that what she does is she just puts this on the screen and she has the students do it together. She'll just show the video. So it is that easy. And I'm going to go back and just show you how many different ones they have. So they have a lot that they've created for you, and they continue to add. But actually what they did is they said they looked at the data, and the ones that were the most popular are the ones that they started with. So I'm like, anything that makes a teacher's job easier is what I'm all about. And these templates definitely do that. Okay, can I get a drum roll? Discovery Education Experience, so you don't have it right now, but you will have it in the fall, has a quizzing feature now. And I know that a lot of teachers love Edpuzzle. And I'm not saying it's exactly like Edpuzzle, pretty much. But it's basically you select a video within Discovery Education, and then you can add questions. So the students, as they're watching the video independently, are having to interact with it. You decide where those questions are. Currently, and I think it'll probably remain like this, there are 3 question types: short answer, poll, and multiple choice. So it makes it really easy. The other thing that I wanted to make sure I shared is that they have started adding, just like those activity templates, they looked for the most popular videos in certain grade level bands, and they have started creating video quizzes with those. So there may be some that you're going to use that have already been created for you. And even if they're created, but you want to edit it a little, you can do that. So that is the video quiz. The other thing that, Discovery Ed has come out with, Discovery Ed Experience, I should say, is a standard quiz. And these are very similar to the quiz questions that you would see in Nearpod. So they have short answers, poll, multiple choice, multiple select, draw, annotate, and even audio. And it says beta, but I have used audio and it works beautifully. So it is super, super easy to use. I would say that the video quiz is even easier to use than Studio. I mean, you can create, a standard quiz and a video quiz like this. So I'm going to show you real quick how you access it. So you are going to go to quiz. And then all you have to do is create new. You can ask live questions. So if you showed your students a video and you want to ask them just a live question, now that means that you would ask the question and then they would just put it in. But what's nice is that you'll have a report at the end. So I'm going to build a new quiz, and I'll just do one question because, again, we don't have a lot of time. But so here's the video quiz, and this is the one that's similar to Edpuzzle, where you have a video and you have students stop throughout the video to answer certain questions. And then you have the standard quiz, and that's the one that I'll use real quick. You give it a name, and you start building. And the first time you'll have to select the question type. So I'm going to go ahead, and I always do short answer because it's the easiest one. So, oops. All right. You just type the question. If you want to have some kind of visual stimulus, like an image, which you can also access through Discovery, you can upload it here. You can change the point value, auto grade keyword exact match, and then it gives you some options. But that is how easy. I mean, basically all I had to do, honestly, was type in the question and then save. And then when you want to add a second one, you just come to the plus here on the left, and then you can select which question type you want, poll, and you fill in question, answers, and that's it. So this is super easy to use. And if I had more time, I would have you take one as a student, because there is a way that you can actually not even have your students take it or get into Discovery and have them access the quiz. But I'm going to, oops, I don't want to leave. Let me go back to quizzes because I want to show you. You can view the results, and it's very similar to any of the other quizzing features that you have. I'm going to show you, let me see. I used this with a few teachers that I was working with. And you can see, I actually had them rush through it. So most of them got it wrong. It's because I said, you got to hurry, you got to hurry. We had like 3 minutes, but they wanted to see what it was like. So I let them see it. But it gives you great information. Here's a report view. You can look at a question view. So you can just look at one question at a time. You can also look at student view. So it's, by students. And here you can see, I used a variety of questions, and you can see how they just scribbled, because I was just like, just do anything so that we can get through this. But you can see all of the questions and all of the work that they did. It's very similar, as I said, to a lot of the others. All right. And then there's also an exit ticket that you can use. And the exit ticket just gives them the opportunity to say, it's always the same. I feel confident. I need more practice, or it's too difficult, just to get an idea of where your students are. So we have about 6 minutes. And I actually think this might've been my last one. I have 4 minutes, right? Did I have any questions throughout? Okay, well, I have one more little trivia. How many different resource types, and Discovery actually calls it asset types. How many different asset types do you think you can find in Discovery Education? So like video would actually count as 2, because they'll say like video segment, other things. Let's see if somebody can guess it. And if you do, you know what? I will send you a Discovery Ed pen, the person that gets the closest to it. How many asset types do you think we have? And I'm going to tell you that it's under 100. How's that? May take me a week or so to get you the pen, but I'll get it to you.
No worries. The answers are starting to come in, Maria. We've got 15, 17, 22, 54, Misty Shea, 43, 35, 80, 46.
Okay, well, you guys have some great guesses. 50, is that all of them?
100, still going. 90. Okay, slowing down.
All right. Well, we're going to have to stop it right here. So the last I heard, which was like a couple of months ago, they had 50 different asset types. So again, if you're only using it for videos, get in there and look at everything. There is so much more that you can use it for.
Way to go, Chelsea Bray.
Yay, Chelsea Ray.
Sorry if I said your name wrong. It looks like Chelsea.
Okay, awesome. By the way, since we have, I do not want to waste any time. I have 2 more minutes. I'm going to show them something. So my DE page, when you first log in at the beginning of each school year, or if you've never logged in, they're going to ask you some questions like, what grade level do you teach? What content do you teach? What are your interests? Based on that, they populate what is called my DE page. And that's why they call it this. So the other thing that you can do is you can organize it. So mine is organized by recently viewed DE staff picks. I love these because Discovery Ed will recommend things. So for example, if Memorial Day is coming up, you're going to see that they have Memorial Day things. Just for you, my channels, you can actually save some. So if there are some that you use all the time, it's real easy. You just like come here and you would subscribe. For me, it says unsubscribe because I already subscribed to this. But if you want to change it, you can actually click on edit home layout. And if you like DE staff picks, you want to see them at the top, you can do that. Or perhaps you want your channels at the top. You can move it around. So you can really personalize your my DE homepage to make it work for you. The other thing that you can do, if there's a channel that you use all the time and you're like, I want it front and center to my left, you can just click and drag and put it right there. So, and by the way, I wish I had more time to show you all the exciting things because they have some channels that are incredible. So maybe next time. I did say, I know I have like, I'm over time already, but I did say, tell Christy and Misty and Aaron that I was going to share some sessions that we're offering this summer. We're actually sharing we're having a 6-hour session where you'll just meet with us 3 hours virtually. And then we're going to give you 3 hours to build content. So it's kind of like a make and take session. And that is for social studies teachers. We're having one, those of you that are early childhood teachers, we're doing a 6-hour, but it's going to be split 3 and 3. So you can take them both, or you can just take one. 3 of the hours are on discovery education for littles. So there, what we're going to do is, again, just provide a lot of resources that you may not be familiar with that are really geared towards those little learners. And that is with Nicole Atkins. I don't know if you know her, but she's great. And then I'm going to offer some beginner sessions that, again, will be a lot more interactive than today was, where I will show you how I filter and then give you the opportunity to filter, to create a folder and start saving things. So I will share those with Misty and Christy and Aaron. And I hope to see you there this summer. I love Keller. It is my home district. And so I love joining my Keller friends. And of course, Misty, Aaron, and Christy are amazing. So thank you so much. And thanks for honoring me with your time. I know how valuable it is.
Sorry, always talking when I'm muted. All right, so some helpful resources for you. If you have not been to our KIC site, it is www.kellerisd.net/KIC. And it pretty much everything that we offer, not everything, most things that we support in ed tech, they have how-tos and extra stuff on here. And then we have a tile on K-Cloud. And someone did ask earlier, yes, Discovery Education is on K-Cloud under the video little thing. And then please, we have a blog. I'm blogging on Discovery Education tomorrow. And then follow us on social media to find out about our future stuff. And then we have a website for parents. I know that was a whole lot at you in one tiny little time. And then, of course, if you would like your EQ credit, please make sure to go to this link bit.ly/capital KICS lowercase TART 2122. So that's Kickstart 2122. Please remember it is case sensitive, or Christy put it in the chat. Click on that. There's a couple questions to answer, but we are so thankful and glad you came. This is seriously, when I started really getting into this resource, I was just like, oh my gosh. And I was like, we have to have Maria come and let people know and shout from the rooftop how many resources, when I really thought it was videos. So it opened my eyes, and every time I go in there and find something new, it's just amazing. I'll click on a channel and I'm like, what? They just put everything for you. It's so expertly curated. So it's exciting. Please go fill in your oh my gosh, EQ form so that we can give you credit. And thank you for coming.